It's Wednesday in Columbia. Welcome to the Touchdowns 5 Points Podcast, episode 43, presented by Harrison Williams Cross Country Mortgage. Beck is on his honeymoon. Congratulations, Beck and Anne-Marie. So Ross will be filling in for him today. That's why I'm doing the intro. It feels like I haven't been on an episode in quite some time, so it feels good to be back. I think we have a good lineup today. I'm going to open this episode with just kind of a little rant about the state of our athletic department and just coaching buyouts in general. I was watching us get our ass beat by Florida in basketball about a week and a half ago at this point now. And so, just out of curiosity, just curious, I looked up what Lamont Paris's buyout was, and it
As
is
one does.
$11.5 million if we fire him at the end of this season. And it only goes down by $1 million if we fire him the following season. In his last,
It goes down by $1 million per year, I think, through 20. Is he signed through 2030 or 2031? Something like that.
In his last stroke of genius before he left us, Ray Tanner saddled the men's basketball coach and men's baseball coach with just about the most favorable buyout situations either of them could possibly have asked for. So I very quickly kind of changed my stance on moving on from Lamont at the end of this season. I know that the basketball team has just been a pain to watch this year. And with all of the injuries that have come out of preseason, I don't think that a lot of people have a lot of high hopes for the baseball team either. But I'm just kind of over buyouts. They have never functioned the way they are supposed to. In theory, the reason that you would have a buyout is because you like your coach and you don't want some other school to come in and take your coach away from you. So you put the buyout clause in to make it more expensive for this other school to do that. Well, when have we ever seen that prevent a bigger school from coming in and taking the coach that they wanted?
No one.
LSU took
It's the same thing
from Notre Dame. LSU took Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss. Penn State took Matt Campbell from Iowa State. I assume he had a buyout. All a buyout has ever done is make it way more expensive to fire a coach that a school has decided they no longer want. So I would like to, moving forward, just risk it. Don't have these insane buyouts in place. And if one of our coaches gets poached because of that, so be it. If we're in a position where we have a coach that we like and another school is interested in that coach, we can always match their offer. And if the coach wants to be here, they want to be here. And if they don't, they don't. But and beyond that, I was at Bar None last week, and I was talking to my good buddy Willie. Shout out Willie at Bar None. And one of the reasons that these extensions used to be put in place for coaches is because it was crucial for high school recruiting. All Gamecock fans will remember when, Spurrier made the, I'll coach for 2 or 3 more years comment to the media. That was kind of the beginning of the end for that year's recruiting class, because all the guys, we started getting negative recruited. Oh, Spurrier's going to leave. And we had just a slew of decommitments from that class, which at the time was a top 5 class in the middle of the summer. That's not really as relevant anymore. A lot of roster construction is coming via the portal. So the fact that a coach has a contract, 4 or 5 years out doesn't really matter anymore. And even if you're getting these kids out of high school, they might not be on the roster in 3 years. So for all of those reasons, I would like to see us kind of be a trendsetter and move away from these huge, ridiculous buyout clauses.
Yeah, I think the only problem with that is that Jimmy Sexton is going to tell any athletic department that wants to do that to shove it.
Well,
and we're
Jimmy
just not going to
Sexton can
get.
shove it. Like I'm sick of
Eh,
him running, like having all this power and running the show. Like he can threaten us all he wants, but it's like I don't think that Beamer would leave if he's able
no,
to.
yeah.
If he's able,
No one. That's the thing is, no one in your lifetime has anyone ever come knocking for a power. Has a Power 5 team ever come knocking for a sitting head coach at South Carolina in the major men's sports? No.
in my lifetime, no, and that
no one's coming to get Beamer, and no one was. It's the same thing with Muschamp. Like no one was banging down the door to come hire Coach Muschamp to be their head coach. You know,
right, and
the buyouts for both of them
but
were a lot of,
but also too, it's like
a lot of money.
If things had gone differently for Muschamp, and someone had, like, for example, if Muschamp had done well, and then Texas wanted him, it doesn't matter what the buyout would have been. Texas still would have got him. So that's kind of my point. Like they don't really serve a purpose except for making things way more expensive when things go wrong. And because of the situation we're in, I'd like to see us give Lamont a couple more years to figure it out. Because here's the thing. If we fire him, fire the staff, hire a new coach, we're $30 million in the hole. And then what's the new coach going to do that Lamont isn't doing with what we're currently committing to basketball from an NIL standpoint?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Much.
I don't know.
So I would rather just see if he can make things work with what we have given him.
That's the problem, though, is that I don't know how much it appears to me we're not giving the basketball team a lot of resources.
And that's probably because we don't really have them. And I don't see how paying $11.5 million to fire the sitting coach would make us more able to give the next guy anything better.
Yeah, I agree. We're not really committed to winning in any sport right now. We talked about it a lot on the show, actually. I've heard you guys talk about it a lot.
What do we say was next on the docket?
Oh, we got NC State home and home cancellation.
Okay, so yeah, we have officially canceled a home and home that we had scheduled with NC State for 2030 and 2031, and this is just kind of continuing the trend that Beck and I have talked about. Now that we have moved to 9 conference games in the SEC, and the college football playoff committee has not shown that they are rewarding playing a difficult schedule. We're just going to continue to see these non-conference Power 4 matchups that had been on the books get canceled because, ADs are looking for easy wins wherever they can get them now. And I don't think anyone in their right mind wants to play 11 Power 4 games in a single season. And so, unfortunately, despite what Beck and I would prefer our schedule to look like, this is the trend that I believe is going to continue for us and for everybody. And it is what it is. They're either going to fix the strength of record or strength of resume metrics, or we'll continue to see these cancellations, and that this is just another feather in the cap of confirming that opinion.
Yeah. Is this the third home and home we've canceled in the last 6 months? I know we canceled Miami home and home. We canceled Virginia Tech.
Home and home. We canceled Virginia Tech. So this would be the third non-conference Power 4 game home and home
in
series.
in 2020 in 2028 and 2029. I don't think we're going to play them, but we're still scheduled to play North Carolina. So that's probably the next domino to fall.
I would assume that will be canceled as well.
I'd love to play them.
I would love to beat
love
them.
that.
I would love to play them. I don't think they'll be good. I don't think
of those 4 teams, Virginia Tech, Miami, NC State, and UNC, I would love to play UNC.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably the most hate and animosity between us and UNC, and they're the worst program right now. So, it's a shame that we'll probably end up canceling.
We need that home and home quicker, sooner rather than later. Excuse me.
UNC?
Yeah, like if UNC was on our schedule next year, I don't think we would have canceled the home and home. You know,
maybe not.
But we might cancel it now that it's 4 years from now.
Right.
Well, not 4 years from now, 3. But yeah. Next on the docket, the Seahawks, Nick Emanwari and Ernest Jones.
Congratulations to Ernest. He is the first Gamecock to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. Maybe the first. No, there's other players that have done that. I think he is the first Gamecock that has won a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. He had 11 tackles in the Super Bowl. Had a great game.
Great year.
And a great year. Nick.
Both of them had great years.
Got snubbed for defensive rookie of the year. You know, it went to the guy on the Browns, and I'm sure that he's a great player. But, you know, I think Nick was penalized because he didn't really play very much at the beginning of the year, where I guess the Browns guy was playing the entire year and, you know, accumulated more impressive stats. But
I think the Browns linebacker had more tackles.
He had more tackles for sure, but I mean,
because he played more.
Nick was the X factor on the best defense in the league, the best team in the league, and he really is kind of the guy that makes that defense work because of all the things that he can do. You know, I think that the Seahawks were the best run defense in the league from the nickel and dime packages specifically, and that's because, you know, they can be in nickel, they can be in dime, and Nick is a part of those packages. And he can still play in the box if he has to and make tackles. He can match up with the tight end. He can cover receivers. He can do things that
it's pretty much exactly what he did at South Carolina.
Very few other players in the league can do. So yeah, I would have loved to see him get that award. It's a shame that he didn't, but he's going to have a very, very long, successful NFL career if he stays healthy. It's awesome to see what he's already become, and that's good for us. That speaks to.
Is he the first like Beamer recruited guy to like make a legit impact in the league? I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of.
I mean,
he was in that first recruiting class, right?
It depends on what you define as impact. I think he's certainly the most prominent Shane Beamer Gamecock player in the league to date. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it's Nick. I mean, DK started for the Bengals this year.
That's true. Yeah, he did.
But I think Nick is still. Nick had a better year in Seattle than DK had in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's probably the best player. I kind of forgot that. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, it's definitely Nick. But in the last year we had 5 guys drafted. The year before that we had 4. And then the year before that we had 5. Putting dudes in the league.
I think the class that's coming out this year Like, I think Cisse is going to be really good in the league. I think Jalen Kilgore is going to be really good in the league. Who else got invited to the combine, Ross? We had 4.
That was our next thing. Barrett and then Faison.
I think Nick's going to be a great pro. Faison, I'll be curious to see how he does. I think for him, a lot is going to be determined by where he ends up. Situation like, Genty was a great back, and then he goes to Las Vegas, and they're just a bad team. If Faison ends up at a team that has a great offense and he can just be a guy that comes in and fills a role for that team and is used situationally, I think he could be a great pro. But a lot of that is going to be dependent on where he ends up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that Cisse is getting first round buzz. That's on the internet, and people that we know say he might be first rounder, day one guy.
Yeah,
that'll be huge.
I think he's a lot freakier than people realize. I think he's going to run a really good 40, and that's kind of not maybe what. I don't think people view him as fast as he actually is. He's a very fluid athlete, and then he's very tall and long for a corner. So yeah, I think his measurables are just something like. I think the combine will be very good to him.
It'll help him.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next on the rundown, we have mid-year enrollees.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So I want to pull this up.
I'm looking for the list right now.
Yeah. This is I have it in front of me. This is from.
Okay, you got it.
Walker Gaskins. Shout out Walker. Thank you for. This is a tweet from him. 12 of our 17 high school recruits are going to be mid-years. That includes Landon Duckworth, Stone Fury, Zion Giles, Anthony Baxter, Aiden Harris, Noah Clark, Julian Walker, Andrew Harris, Keenan Britt, Koshi Barnes, Xavier Currents, and Tristan Lewis. The 5 guys that are not going to be mid-years are Darius Gray, Caden Ramsey, Sequel Patterson, KJ Johnson, and Matthew O. It was a smaller high school class, and I think we're going to continue to see that. Just the high school class is shrinking. I think the best way to get elite talent is still getting them at the high school level and retaining them, similar to like how we have done with Dylan and Lenoris. So high school recruiting will remain very, very important, but I do think that the classes will continue to get smaller, and really I think what high school recruiting will become is, you get as many blue chip top 50, top 100 guys as possible. You take a couple developmental guys that are local guys, in-state guys. I was
going to say take as many South Carolina, North Carolina kids as you can.
Correct. Like,
yeah. Even like whether they're blue chips or developmental.
The bread and butter of high school will be South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, 3-hour footprint. And then we've had a lot of success in the DC area because of the direct flights from Columbia to that area. But, the DC guys, I think, are going to be more of, we're going to go up there to try and get those blue chip guys. And then
we're not going up there to get kids that'll be good by their junior year,
Correct. Yeah. I don't think that we're going to really stray that far from home for developmental guys. But I think it's really encouraging to see 12 out of 17 high school kids coming in early. The height and weights per this
don't put
tweet,
much stock in them.
I don't know how much stock we should put in them. I agree, but Landon Duckworth 6'4", 210, That's super exciting. I'll be super curious to see what he ends up playing at.
What is Currents listed as?
Currents is listed at 6'4", 210 as well. And he's another player that I'm super excited about. Him, I'm really excited to see what Tigray and Clayton do with Tristan Lewis. He played quarterback in high school, but we're going to convert him to DB. Sequel Patterson, I'm really excited about him. Like this high school class is going to be
an exciting
class.
Yeah.
And, we already touched on it, but Julian Walker got, bumped up to a 5-star after his performance at the All-American camp. So yeah, just really pleased with our high school class this year. Really pleased with how many of them are mid-year enrollees, and I'm excited for spring football, man. I'm really excited for spring football.
But not drinking the Kool-Aid yet.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid yet. I
guess this might be
the season starts when we're 3-0, and we are averaging 40 points per game.
I've had friends text me offline and say the season doesn't start until we're 3-0.
Correct. I mean,
they've started to hear what you say, and they're now repeating it.
Well, it's true. And if we're not 3-0, the season is over. The season is over. I mean, really, the only game that is even losable in the first 3 would be Mississippi State at home. I'm not even going to entertain us losing to Kent State or Townsend at home. Obviously, if we lose one of those games,
there's bigger problems.
I'm going to backflip off of the top of Williams-Brice Stadium. But, yeah, season starts when we're 3-0. Beating Mississippi State at home should be very, very doable. So if we don't do that, I'm not making excuses for us this year. Last year
last year it took you a good last year you didn't admit that we were bad until we were 3-3.
I was spin cycle all day, every day. Beck was sitting there complaining that we didn't beat South Carolina State by 100. And I was explaining, I was giving all the reasons for why it's not a red flag. And I was wrong. And if we don't come out and beat Kent State and Towson 70-0, both of those teams, if we don't beat them like a drum, it's a problem. And it will be red flags raised, and I will be scared and angry and upset. So that's what we need to do. And
does it give you any? I don't know. Let's say is it Kent State or Townsend week 1?
Kent State is week 1.
Okay, let's say we beat Kent State 44-14. What's your reaction? I guess it depends on how we give up the 14.
Correct. If we give up the 14 at the very end of the game when all the backups are in, that's very different from giving up the 14 in the first half when the starters are playing. We're notorious. If we score 44, by midway through the third quarter, and then we sit Lenoris and we sit all of the good starters, and we don't score for the rest of the game, that's very different than if it takes us the whole game to score 44 and Lenoris is playing, deep into the fourth quarter. The score is an indicator, but also how we look and how we got there is an indicator as well.
We are notorious for starting slow in the Beamer era, though.
Yes.
Does that also give you any, I don't know, let's say we beat Kent State 28-10.
I won't be happy. I'll be very upset, and I'll be very nervous, and I will be thinking to myself,
we're gonna have to replay this back for you after week 1 when you're doing the spin cycle.
Well, I don't think that we're going to beat them 28-10. I think we're going to thump them. I think not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I think that we have addressed a lot of needs. I think if you, again, we've said it 1,000 times already. The offseason has gone exactly how you would want it to go. As frustrating as the end of this season was, as frustrating as the whole year was, if we wrote down a list of things that had to be done coming out of that loss to Clemson, we've done just about all. I mean, you could say that, I wish we would have got more high profile portal players, but in terms of the positions that we've gotten and the numbers that we've brought in, it's exactly what we needed to do. And I do think that we did get it. I mean, Peak from NC State is a high profile guy. Like he might be the best O lineman that we've had, or like he might be the highest drafted O lineman we've had in a very long time. I mean, I don't even know what the. Can you look up if we've had an O lineman be drafted in the first or second round since 2000?
It's been a long time.
But sir, I don't think we've had a tackle go in the first two rounds that I can think of.
Not in a while. I can tell you right now, though.
So yeah, like just that fact alone is meaningful, exciting.
Corey Robinson is the highest drafted tackle we've had in the last 11 years. He was drafted.
And where did
wait,
he,
no,
where did
excuse me. No, I was incorrect. Brandon Shell. He was a fifth rounder.
Fifth?
Brandon Shell was a fifth rounder for the Jets.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, and is Peak not projected to be like a third round guy?
I don't know. I don't put, even if he is, I'm not putting much stock into it yet. Travell Wharton was our last day 2 tackle pick.
Okay.
In 2004.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, it's been 20 years since we've had a tackle taken as high as Peak might get taken if he plays well next year.
Ernest Dye. What does that name mean to you?
Not much.
He was a first rounder in 1993.
Yeah, so I was 1. I don't remember him. I remember Brandon Shell and who was the guy that you said no for?
It was Travell Wharton.
Yes, I remember Travell and Brandon. I do not remember Ernest Dye.
Yeah, we have not had an offensive lineman drafted since Javon Gwynn in 2023. So yeah. That kind of wraps it up for football. We're going to keep this episode super short. We have 2 more things to get to. Baseball starters for the Northern Kentucky series have been announced. Our Friday night starter is Riley Goodman. Our Saturday starter is Amp Phillips. And our Sunday starter, when we play on Sundays, or if we were to play this Sunday, is Brandon Stone. But I think we have a doubleheader on either Friday or Saturday this weekend against Northern Kentucky. So I'm super interested to watch our pitchers this weekend. I'm super interested to watch the entire team, but mainly the pitchers because I think that's the biggest question mark on paper, at least. And then next week we have a midweek against Wofford, who I think in the last 2 or 3 seasons has made the postseason at least once. They're usually a solid mid-major. They're playing that game in Spartanburg. I might go to that, or we might go to that game. So if you go to that game, look out for us. Maybe. We don't know yet. And then the last person to shout out is Frankie Harris, South Carolina men's golfer. He's in the PGA Tour U top 15 rankings that got released earlier today, but then a few hours later, he actually won the Puerto Rican collegiate tournament. So shout out to him. We might have a new Gamecock on tour here in the next 2-3 years, depending on how good Mr. Harris is. So that's pretty cool. Short episode tonight, Thomas.
We got it done, though.
Yeah, we don't have much to talk about. We'll have a lot more to talk about on Sunday, though, after baseball and basketball wraps up, and then the return of Beck. That'll be cool too. We can ask him about how his honeymoon was.
I'm sure he's having a great time.
Yeah. For those that do not follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and all that other good stuff, hit us up. We love reading the comments on YouTube. That's my favorite thing to do when we have an episode blow up. So comment, share with your friends, get your mom and dad listening, get your cousin listening. Just share the show. I think we eclipsed 120 subscribers on YouTube recently.
Really?
I think, I can't remember if it was 112 or 122. Either way, we're getting more subscribers every time we drop an episode. Follow us on Instagram at touchdowns 5 points, 5 points with a 5. Twitter, we're at TDS 5 points. And then we post all our stuff on there too. So interact with us there as well. Thomas, you got any last words?
Go Cox.
Go Cox.